Alright guys, what is a torsion garage, a garage torsion spring system? First off, let's get to the basics. Your motor does not lift the door. This is not true. There is some kind of a spring mechanism because these doors can weigh over 200 kilograms. There is no motor going to pick that up. So they need to make a mechanism that can lift the door, and the motor just tells the door where to go. So basically, your springs, whichever form they are they a roll-up, are they a torsion system or a tension system, are actually carrying the weight of the door. So how do they work? Let's start off here at the heart. Is a torsion bar over here that goes all the way through and all the way through out to the end there. Now here's a torsion bar in a center bearing over here. That rolls freely through there. It rolls freely through the side bearings, and that is the bit that is going to transfer the power from the spring to the cables. Okay, so fastened onto this torsion bar, now just to bear in mind, this one is loose, so we're basically doing a one spring garage door here because, well, we've got buckets with bricks. So at the end of each side is a cable drum, and that cable drum is bolted on to the torsion bar. So that is fixed. So when the torsion bar turns, it turns the cable drum, which lifts. These cables are attached to the bottom of the door. So now I want you to imagine that this is the bottom of the door, and the door comes up here. And as it lifts, it goes onto the tracks. Now that's very important, because when your door is closed, the full weight of the door needs to be lifted. When your door is halfway, half of it is up on the horizontal tracks, the other half is over here. So you only need half the amount of power. When it's all the way up, the springs need to be a little bit tense or tight, so they don't let the cable shoot off the drum. Because aircraft cable, it will jump off if it gets half a chance. So that's what our torsion bar joins everything up. Cable drums to the bottom of the door. And then you've got your center bearing. Now imagine that spring wasn't there. This is your torsion spring. It's got two ends. The one end bolts onto the center bearing, so that's fixed. That just the spring is fixed, not the torsion bar in the middle. That's still free to move. Then on the other end, you've got your tensioner. And as this, you tension it up using these tensioners. So when we tighten it, we're charging it up. Okay? So I clamp the end and then I start tensioning it up, and then I bolt it. So I tension up to the correct amount, then it's fastened. So the spring is the engine. The spring is the most important part. The spring is the part, you can see our branding, that lifts the door. The torsion bar connects to the spring and transfers the power to the cable drums, and then the cables lift the door. Your extension spring or tension spring is a slightly different but same principle. Your springs lift the door. So basically what's happening here is now we've got two buckets full of bricks, which is, well, I guess a bit more makeshift than a door itself. And if we put a door here, you wouldn't see our lovely branding. And what we want to do is, as I'm lifting this, you see, I'm not putting a lot of weight on it. That spring is lifting these bricks. You can see that bucket is bending under the weight. But I'm not using any power. What's happening is that spring, as it discharges, is lifting the door. And the motor connects to the door and just tells it where to go. And that is the basics of a torsion spring garage system.